Hello and welcome to the African Tech Roundup, episode 82 for the week ending Monday, November 7th, 2016. This is where we round up the week's most important tech, digital and innovation news from across the African continent. My name is Andile Masubu, and this week, as you can hear, we're on location and we'll certainly be doing things slightly differently. Joining me on the show this week is our technical producer here at the African Tech Roundup, Brian Lupia. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? What's up, Africa?
Hey, so it's DISCOP 2016, right?
That's for sure, dude. We've been here the past 3-4 days.
3 days, actually. Feels like 4 because it's been a jam-packed program, what with us being involved with Digital Lab Africa and all the incredible creative talents we've seen come through that program.
Definitely. We've met some very interesting people with some very interesting business ideas and projects running. And all the best to the guys that win today. They're announcing the winners today, eh?
Yeah, because we're actually recording the show just an hour away from when Digital Lab Africa will announce 5 winners who will then form part of their very first incubation program. Really exciting stuff. And as I indicated earlier on, we're doing things slightly differently by bringing you some of those voices, sharing some of the enthusiasm they have for their projects, as well as a voice that is certainly not starting out, has been around the block at least once or twice as far as this digital content game is concerned. We won't spill the beans just yet, though. Now, DISCOP Africa, for those of you who are not familiar with it, is basically Africa's largest multi-screen, multi-platform marketplace. And Digital Lab Africa is a partner initiative that's been part of DISCOP this year. And here to tell us a little more about Digital Lab Africa is the initiative's founder and convener, Frédéric Chambon. Take a listen.
Big idea basically is to provide a platform, the first ever platform for African talent. When we say African, it's for all sub-Saharan Africa region. African talent in digital content and multimedia. And we're targeting specifically 4 sectors, 4 key sectors where you've got growth and creativity. Number 1 is virtual reality, VR. That's a big thing at the moment. Everybody is thinking and doing VR. We've got online music, which is big in Africa, of course. We've got video games, and we've got web creation, transmedia. And the bottom idea, and the whole idea of DLA came from a simple idea. Today, Africa is moving from the traditional screens, like a TV in your lunchroom, and moving to mobile screens, connected screens, smartphones, basically, and computers. It means now, if you're a TV producer, if you want your content to be watched, seen, consumed by these guys, you have to be on mobile. So the challenge, and what we want to address, is for Africa to be part of this revolution, for Africa to be able to produce the content of tomorrow for the screens of tomorrow.
Anyone who's serious about working in the content space, for the big screen, silver screen, or indeed the smaller screens we all hold in our hands or sit on our desks, is here making deals. You can hear all the conversations going on right now. Exciting stuff, yeah, Brian?
Definitely exciting. It's like a dating game here.
It is a speed dating, isn't it?
Speed dating, matchmaking. It's really cool. The whole vibe is awesome here.
Absolutely. Launched in 2012, it's definitely turned into quite the platform, quite the marketplace. Big up to the organizers. Now, this week's episode is brought to you by our Quick Tech Chat series, which features brief and some not-so-brief conversations with leading pros working the trenches of Africa's tech scene. Think startup founders, VC players, C-suite executives, all offering insights on what it's like to operate at the coalface of African innovation efforts.
And you can find this playlist on our website. That's www.africantechroundup.com. And just go to the Quick Chats playlist and have a listen.
And without further ado, let's jump right in. What do we have first, Brian?
First up, we have Basics Pulse. Now, Basics Pulse is a music platform project dedicated to emerging artists in Africa, helping them to engage with their audience and create a community of listeners. We caught up with one of the founders, Harlem, and we had a really nice chat with him. Well, you had a nice chat with him.
It's worth mentioning that Harlem and his co-founders are from the DRC, and their platform certainly has awesome commercial potential, certainly the potential to take on some of the biggies, the likes of Spotify, iTunes, and the rest. Take a listen to this. Harlem Mufunkol, welcome to the African Tech Roundup.
Thank you.
Now, you're a co-founder of a music streaming platform from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, that's not a place I immediately think of when I think of music streaming services. What's yours called, and how did you guys come up with an idea?
Well, maybe it's not the first thing you think about, but when you think about music in Africa, you think about Congo.
There's no way I cannot think about music if I think about the Congo.
Exactly. So the only thing is missing is a streaming application for that music.
Touché. So that's exactly how you thought about it.
That's the thing we thought about, me and my friend Narcis. It was the only thing missing was an application and allowing people outside the country and inside the country to listen to more of the local musicians and different music genre that you find in Kinshasa and elsewhere in Congo as well. Yeah.
And so give the service a shout out because it's totally live. You've been going for a short while now, and the people seem to have taken really well to it, not just in Congo but in other countries around you as well.
Yes, we have people in Brazzaville, Congo Brazzaville, using it because we have friends there, journalist friends in the radio talking about it, and in Kinshasa as well. So it has been very welcomed, and we have at least, I think, already more than 2,000 users already. It's Basics. If you just Google Basics with Z and Basics Pulse on Google, if you just Google you get the link.
And if you're English speaking and you want, it's like Basics with a Z, an I and a K, so that's BAZIKS, and then Pulse, which you say Pulse because you're French speaking.
My French, yeah, my French accent always betraying.
Yeah, that's right. So, okay, so tell me about the business model. So when you say 2,000 users, are these people who are paying to use the service? Do you have a tiered offering in terms of freemium and then a premium service? How does it work?
Right now it's a freemium service, but we allow people to buy music. So it's not like we have commercials, ads, an ad system on the site, but it's not like you cannot choose that away from the software right now because we offering like a freemium and we just selling the songs. But sooner we will have offline music system, offline playlists. Then we can have that premium offer. People can choose away the ads and different service that they don't want to have. Yeah.
I suppose one of the obvious questions is surely consumers in Congo had options before you guys, or didn't they? Give me a sense of what the market is like for the streaming of music in Congo. Is it simply international players coming and trying to shove international music down your throats and then nothing else, or do you guys have competition in the space?
Well, we don't really have a serious competition because the applications are depending on the internet. So people really don't have internet available everywhere they are in Congo. So if using a software like Spotify, it doesn't really care that you don't have a lot of credit or data on your phone and stuff like that. So our application is more like aware of all those things and trying to recognize the connection that the person have, and then try to cut down some functions of the site, like heavy, like huge pictures. Once it detects that you are on 3G, then it will not show you like those big pictures. It will offer you like a appropriate pictures quality, depending on your connection and stuff like that. And it will let you know that you are using a 3G. That's why maybe your streaming is slow. And then, it's just an application very aware of the ecosystem of the telecoms in Congo and in Africa. So, I mean, there's no really like a big competition because those software are not really aware of all those things. It's just like you have to have internet to use it. But here we're offering you different ways to listen to music or download music, even if you have a bad connection and stuff like that.
Do you like birds, Brian?
I'm not very fond of birds. Maybe parrots, I don't know. But yeah, no, I certainly don't really like. I can see them there in the air, that's great, but no, not close to me. No.
All our animal fan listeners are getting ready to stone you. And I'm not sure how the next person we're going to feature is going to feel about the fact that you're not a fan of birds. One of her aliases is Blackbird.
Yeah, Blackbird, a.k.a. Temple. Look, she's my homie. She knows, much love for Blackbird. You know me. All right, but yeah, we caught up with her as well.
And so Nonkululeko Vundla is a musician, a self-taught techie, and an all-round digital artist. And so we caught up with her right at Digital Lab Africa to share how she's transitioning from being an artist to a creative. Look,
Yo, Jason's in the house.
look who's crashing the mic right now.
Right now. Awesome. Now we're good, Jason. That's our homie, Jason Njoku, good friend of the African Tech Roundup.
Well, he's actually yet to be inducted because he's kind of spoiled the surprise because he'll be the third voice we're sharing on the podcast a little later on. He just crashed us and jumped on the mic real quick. But anyway, before we play out with the chat I had with Jason, you're going to hear from Nonkululeko Vundla, a.k.a. Temple, a.k.a. Blackbird, about how she's dealing with the transition of being a creative, a broadcaster, to being an entrepreneur, all in the digital space. Take a listen. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing here at DLA this year.
Okay, well, the reason that we're here is simple. I'm an African artist. Blackbird is the name, first lady of the game. Yeah, that's me. And basically, I've been successful as a hip-hop artist in Zimbabwe. Now I'm back home in South Africa. But the 7-8 years of creating a brand hasn't translated into money. So it's pointless for me to be popular and have all these fans, but I'm not able to monetize on my gift. I've released 5 albums, but I should be loaded by now, I think, based on the talent. And that's where Kiami Online comes in. We have a business that we've put together, which is basically a website driven to help artists create an income from their music. And I'm coming as an artist saying, guys, this is a solution that we have made, not just for you, but for me too. So I'm actually a user of the product that I'm going to offer others too.
Isn't this an exciting time to be a broadcaster, a producer, a media maker, a creative artist in the digital space? How we no longer need these massive platforms in order to gain an audience and grow a community and, more importantly, like you mentioned, monetize. How excited are you about that?
It's extremely exciting. I mean, technology has changed the industry. When I did my first album, I had to hustle studio time because only 1 or 2 guys had proper studios, had proper software, had proper mics. Now, looking for a condenser mic is not a complicated thing. I just go on Google and look for options. Getting software is not complicated. Getting the right kind of infrastructure, getting an airbook. Life has changed. Therefore, the industry has changed. So it's really exciting that I'm in the media industry at a time like this, where you don't have to be rich and famous to produce a good quality album. I've done 5 albums, and yeah, I can actually speak from experience that technology has actually played a part in opening me up, as well as things like Facebook and WhatsApp. I'm able to speak to my fans on a one-on-one thanks to technology. So things are different.
And next up is a guy called Kaba Diakite.
Yep, he's from Cote d'Ivoire. He is a game developer, and his co-founders have come up with a pretty neat-looking game that's based on a traditional game that used to be played in the Ivory Coast and in countries surrounding it, but isn't as popular anymore. And they're reviving it with a very snazzy-looking game that's now available for Android as well as PC. Here to tell us all about it is Kaba Diakite. Take a listen. Tell me a little bit about the game you've developed, because you've enjoyed quite a bit of success for a game that's only been out for just a month. 3,000 downloads already?
Yes, 3,000 downloads since we launched the game last month, and the game is available on Android and on PC. For the PC version, you could go on our website, work the group, for the Android version to Google Play.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the game and how the idea came to you.
Okay, so Point is inspiring on Point, a game that we played when we were students, and actually this game is no more playing by anybody. So what we want to do through this project is to make this game on the current platform, Android, for saving our culture and for making our little brother plays that all of those games that learn us so many things, because it is many logic and many strategy, and we learn a lot of things playing our games.
Now, one of the co-producers of the show, Brian, actually downloaded the game a few moments ago, and he was playing with it. It actually looks really, really good. Did you do this all yourself, or do you have a team?
I have a team. I work with 4 other people 2 in the technical part and 2 others for the business part, for the marketing, and so on and so forth.
So let's talk about the business part of making games, because I've noticed that the model around taking a game to market, particularly for African game developers, often centers around partnering with NGOs or chasing CSI type money from corporates and that kind of thing. Is there money in making these games? Is there potential to make money in any other way?
Yes, our game is free for download, so we want many persons to play that game. It is also able to purchase in the application. We're going to add mobile banking because it is the most used method to pay that we could add in our application.
So you're going to look for organic ways to monetize the players of these games once they're with the game, once they're in the game, but you don't have any plans of charging for the game. A freemium model, basically.
Actually, this version of the game is a solo version. In the beginning of 2007, we're going to launch the online version, and this version is not going to be free. So this version is going to be downloadable via transaction.
You're not sure of the price just yet?
Yes, I'm not sure yet.
So you're at Digital Lab. You were at Digital Lab Africa. You were pitching earlier in the day. What were you pitching for? What is your hope from platforms like this? What sort of attention are you hoping to get? Are you looking for investors? What sort of thing are you hoping to get out of this?
Actually, we launch and we do all of what we do on our capabilities.
So you basically bootstrap the business.
Okay. So actually, we are looking for investor. We are looking for potential client because we don't do only our games, but we're also able to make games for other people. So people who could come here to ask us to make their game. And the most important thing that we want through this competition is the incubator. The incubator. We want to deal with a studio that is already done, that knows how the process are, in order to learn a lot and go quickly and the best way it could be for all of the next project that we could have.
And finally, the guy we've all been waiting for.
The podcast crasher.
I mean, that was a really cool way for him to introduce. He should have just introduced himself.
He actually should have introduced himself, except
He was rushing off somewhere to, I don't know, to
close a deal or something.
close the deal. You know him.
For those of you who don't know Jason Njoku, he is the CEO of iROKO. It is a group of companies that has done a lot to revolutionize the way content is streamed, predominantly in West Africa. He is famous for pushing the whole Lagos-only message, but certainly doesn't mean he's not doing business elsewhere across the continent as well as other parts of Europe.
He actually does shed some light on that as well in the conversation you had with him, yeah.
So I obviously had a ton of questions to ask him. He's one of the more vocal figures in Africa's tech scene, with his blog, of course, if you follow him there, as well as via interviews and talks that he often does. And it was really nice for me to ask him questions that I'd been dying to ask him, because oftentimes he might get misquoted or the sense of what he's trying to say never comes right through. And this, in many respects, is an interview where he answered many of the questions I had. Are we ready?
Definitely ready. Let's go.
What did the DJs used to say? Let's spin it.
No.
Spinning is back, though, with the vinyls and stuff.
But they never used to say, let's spin it. They never
spin
said
it.
anything. They never said anything. They just started.
Roll the tape.
Click.
Jason Njoku, welcome to the African Tech Roundup.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. I asked you off mic earlier if you being at DISCOP, actually result in getting deals done, or is more a matter of show and tell. You said?
I don't dance. I don't do show and tell. I'm all about the deals.
And also you said that's stuff you could probably do from your office in Lagos.
Yeah, if it's show and tell, you can do that. You can scale that socially. You can scale that via, obviously, my great PR person, Jessica. When I jump on a plane to go somewhere, it's costing me money. Whenever I move, it costs the company money. So I need to be able to pay that money back times 10. That essentially is how we think about moving at iROKO.
And so, in letting people into what happens at DISCOP, perhaps people haven't heard of the event and that kind of thing. What did you jump on a plane to come do? And also, maybe in trying to explain, your motivations. How different, since you've been here more than, I think this is probably your third or fourth time. How different are the interactions you're having, the conversations you're having at this particular DISCOP to when you first started coming?
DISCOP brings together content buyers and sellers. It's not free, so anyone who is here has paid to be here. That payment filter means that people here are serious. So they're taking meetings, they're doing deals. If there's nothing to be done, and have a great conversation, 15, 20 minutes, they're out, on to the next one. So I think that's really, really important, that if it's like a place where everyone can come for a condensed 2 or 3 days, do deals, move on. I think obviously like people are spread across the 40 or so sub-Saharan African countries. We have people flying in obviously from Europe and the US as well. So I think it's a great way to kind of like meet everybody at the same time. Obviously in the glorious surroundings of Johannesburg, which is definitely one of my favorite cities. But yeah, I think if anyone doesn't know about if anyone doesn't know about DISCOP, then maybe they're not looking hard enough. Maybe they're not serious enough. So if you're serious about selling content or buying content, you know about DISCOP. It's not that difficult.
This is for my tech heads who listen to us, so they might be busy. I don't know, at other tech conferences. I don't know.
I don't care.
Oh wow, that sounds like something straight out of your legendary blog. No comment there because the mic was in his face. He didn't say a thing. What's trending in your world at the moment? Actually, speaking of your blog, you tend to have like seasons of consciousness. If anyone follows you on social and on your blog, they probably know what I mean. But what's big for you right now?
Lots of things.
Top of mind. What's top one? Top one, because we don't have that much time.
So top one is family and life, right? I'm a father. I'm a husband. I have a family. It really kind of changes perspective of things. I go through experiences on a fairly regular basis, which are incredibly challenging. I went through like a life and death type experience earlier this week, so I will share that experience because it needs to be told. So I think for me, it's just about surviving and making sure that I at least can try and find some happiness in this world.
You recently came out saying that people think iROKO TV is a one-trick pony. Set the record straight. Give me a sense of the length and breadth of this empire that you're building. What are we getting most wrong when we think about Jason Njoku and everything you and your team are doing at iROKO TV?
So iROKO actually isn't one company. It's more of like a holding of like 4 or 5 different companies. So obviously we have linear channels. We have now, I think it's 5 or 6 linear channels going across Europe and Africa, across like 4 or 5 different platforms. That's a multi-million-dollar business, has about 20 or 30 people working digitally on that. We have a third-party digital platform business, which is iROKO X, which again, generates hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for content partners. Typically deals with like short form content, so we're thinking of like anything less than 5 minutes. Again, has like I think 15, 20 people who are pretty much focused on that. We have iROKO Plus, which is our JV with Canal in French-speaking Africa, which again is like iROKO TV, the Android app, but it has novellas, but it has French-speaking African content in there. And again, it's in French, so it's completely focused in that area. And we have a content sales business where customers come to us, they need Nollywood content, we basically aggregate it for them, make sure all the rights are cleaned, send it over to them. And again, these are all sort of like, pretty big businesses in their own right. And as a collection, they kind of really support strategically a lot of the things which iROKO TV is actually at least trying to do in the long run. And I think that's why when you ask me that, why would I come here, show and tell, like we're about making money first because we're ultimately need to pay the bills. And begging for VC money is always a challenge. So first and foremost, we obviously need to pay the bills. In order to do that, we need to kind of do deals. So we've got a team here, people who are just trying to do deals, and that's always been our focus. On iROKO TV, it's more about making people happy. It's much more nuanced, and it's much more of a longer sort of like multi-decade play. And we're sort of like happy to have survived that and to kind of keep on being in the game. And every year, as we sort of like keep on going, we just keep on getting stronger. We keep on seeing great opportunities for us to build like a pretty interesting business.
And so as a percentage of your business overall, how much of it would you say is in traditional media versus new media?
I think this year is probably about 70% is in traditional media.
A sort of futurist like me thinks, okay, that's not part of a future I imagine. I suppose the businessman in you says there's a lot of ways to make money, as up until the future actually, the future I might have in mind actually gets here. Is that the approach you take in terms of what you invest in at iROKO?
Well, the future isn't cheap, right? So, you got to pay for like tomorrow and next week and a month after. And we've got a big team of like, I think we had about 170 people. Now we're kind of boosting that by another 300 people. So it's expensive. And you can either raise the money from venture capital, or you can actually get customers and pay it that way. So as I said before, like everything we're doing in the traditional media is actually supporting iROKO TV and its development. So again, I can raise $10 million from a venture capitalist, or I can go and sell $10 million worth of content. I'd rather try and sell $10 million worth of content. Makes us more independent. Makes us more kind of like not less fragile as a company. And I think that's definitely kind of the way I'm trying to build the company at the moment.
I guess I'm asking if I'm interested in a career in media. If you're speaking to, say, a young kid coming out of varsity right now, would you recommend that they invest in a career in traditional media, given we have some idea of where the future is going, given what Netflix is doing around the world, given what you guys are doing on the continent in new media, given all the changes that have come with all the innovations in communication and in ICT in general? Is this a long-term play or not?
No, absolutely. I think building a subscription, getting people to pay for content is really, really, really expensive. Takes many, many years. Anyone who's been successful anywhere in the world has taken like a decade or maybe 2 decades to even get there. So first and foremost, like, it's expensive. Most of new media doesn't require you to spend like $20 or $30 million in the build up to getting somewhere. So, the fact that it requires a huge amount of investment up front, it just means that we kind of have to be a bit more smart about and how we think about the business. So, I think any young person who wants to go into new media, I would definitely suggest just go into new media. But if you want to build a business where you want to get people to pay, customers to pay for something, really difficult and takes really long. And you probably need a lot of capital to do that.
Now, comment on the evolution in the interaction between traditional platforms and new media platforms like iROKO TV. What's changed over the years? Are you at the same country clubs with the heads of, say, some of the bigger players in the industry? You obviously can't speak for them, but what do you sense?
So I sense that there's definitely going to be a convergence. I think local content is really, really important. So I'm in the local content game. If you look at the top 5 channels in South Africa, it's SABC1, SABC2, it's ETV, it's Mzansi Magic, it's Nollywood. The country club guys aren't necessarily going to be there. It's like local languages, it's local dialects, it's local stories, it's local experiences. So I think that's not going to change anytime soon. That's a macro change which I think is only going to reinforce itself as we kind of get more proud of our content. I think at the end of the day, we're digitally native, and we did traditional as like an extension of our business, but we're still digital at heart, and we're learning everything else in the traditional world. I think what you find is that a lot of the traditional guys are now having to learn digital. So I think in 10 years' time, we basically all end up at the same place, some sort of like hybrid between the two. But I think at heart, because we're digital first, we'll always have that sort of digital internet style way of doing things.
And so before we go, we have a quick word from Frederic Chambon.
Wow, you got that pretty well. He's the founder and convener of this year's Digital Lab Africa, and here is talking about how you can be part of the DLA's next cohort. Take a listen.
At the moment, we are in the middle, let's say, of cycle 1, edition 1. So it's going to be always in 3 phases. So you can catch up the next phase next year. But basically, we have a call for projects, a call for submissions. We launched this in June in Abidjan, and we'll do the same thing next year. DISCOP Abidjan, our event partner platform. So if you want really to catch up for next year, remember we will launch this June next year, Abidjan. It will be online. We've got, of course, a website, which is digitallabafrica.com. We've got everything online. You can submit online. So that's phase 1, call for project. Phase 2 will be again at DISCOP Joburg. We bring the finalists. This year we received 500 entries, more than 500 entries from across Africa, 30 countries. So I guess next year is going to be even bigger. So it will be phase 2, launch of a call, finalists, pitch competition, winners, incubation. We're going to do the same cycle, and hopefully with more money, more partners, and more winners. That's the idea.
Yo, Brian, it's been really nice having you on the show, man.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. Usually I'm just in the background. Today, I'm up here behind the mic. It's been good.
Don't say just behind the scenes, man. You hold the thing together, man.
I guess without me, you wouldn't get that finished product.
Well, I wouldn't go so far. So Okay. So we do want to thank the 4 people that we featured on this week's show. Of course, Harlem of Basics Pulse, Blackbird, a.k.a. Temple, a.k.a. Nonkululeko Vundla, Kabadia Kite of Points by Worked, and of course Jason Njoku of iROKO. Now the clips we shared with you were pretty short. You can enjoy the full interviews that we had with those individuals. They're all available on our Quick Tech Chat series, which features brief and some not so brief conversations with leading pros working the trenches of Africa's tech scene.
And you can find the playlist at africantechroundup.com.
But that's our show for the week. Be sure to join us again next week when I'll return with the usual digital tech and innovation news from across the African continent. But for now, I'm Andile Masugu.
And I'm Brian Lipia.
Take it easy, Africa.
Cheers.